Taking photographs takes me places, and it's taken me all over the world, from the beaches right down the street from my house to snowy Point Break perfection in the North Atlantic to jerk chicken shacks in Jamaica. I mean, I owe almost every unique and memorable experience over the last 10 years to my camera. Surfing is my biggest passion. Photographing the ocean and empty waves and the sport itself come next, but it wasn't necessarily always that way. You know, I had a connection with the ocean from a super early age because my dad lived in Maui, and some of my earliest memories are of just that typical Maui beach life. But even though my dad surfed, I never really did it. I just wanted to dive and swim, which is weird because back home in Oregon, I was obsessed with skateboarding from a super early age. And then came snowboarding, which literally took over my life. So it's weird that it took me until I was 15 to first surf, and then another 5 years to really fall in love with it. I suppose I'm a product of my environment. Growing up in Central Oregon, I was exposed to such a broad range of activity and scenery and climates and wildlife. You know, I definitely didn't take it for granted at the time, but maybe I didn't realize just how special it all was. I mean, especially the nature and the weather. We have 4 true seasons, and I really love the colder ones. You know, I'm obsessed with the snow, and that's definitely influenced where I like to photograph surfing. I'm kind of always dreaming of finding somewhere where it's snowy and firing. Although it hasn't happened as much as I'd like, the few times it has happened are really special, and there's truly nothing better. In 2004, while he was surfing at home in Maui, my dad was attacked by a tiger shark and unfortunately didn't survive the encounter. And at that point, I really already loved surfing. And more than anything, I loved surfing with my dad. So when he passed, I decided I was going to surf everywhere as like a way to keep his spirit alive and as a way to kind of honor the love he gave me for surfing and the ocean in general. And the whole thing's kind of crazy because if you rewind the path I've taken, it all kind of has to do with my mom basically picking the 2 raddest men on earth to raise me. I mean, my biological father instilled in me this sense of adventure and freedom and love for nature, while my second dad, who was, with me basically my whole life since I was 2, he gave me my first camera, and I got to see his work ethic and his drive to succeed. And combining everything that the 2 of them gave me has really made me who I am today. You know, one side gave me surfing and one side gave me a camera. And when I put the 2 together, they've taken me around the world, and that's really the reason I do what I do. And as much as I love traveling and globe-trotting and gallivanting around everywhere, you know, it's really home that's made me who I am. I mean, growing up with such dramatic weather and an ever-changing environment, and getting out and experiencing it is what I'm into. I mean, in a year, I probably put 2 or 3 times more miles on my rig than most people do. And I appreciate the time I get to spend on the road, no matter how monotonous it may seem at times, because the scenery is real special. And like I said, we have snowy mountains and huge evergreens, and I'm sort of surrounded by this big nature and open space, and it's just a real special environment to call home and try and be a part of. And personally, I love this art form for its unique ability to freeze a nanosecond in time. Motion and video and all that stuff, it's amazing, and I love seeing all the latest and greatest stuff and what people are doing and making, but for me, it's always been about that one frame. You know, that one image that sums up an entire experience, and that could be an empty lineup in the middle of nowhere, or a friend swinging for steelhead on our local rivers. I just enjoy having that one perfectly still moment to look back on that jogs my memory of the entire experience. And hopefully the photos I take and share make my audience feel moved to experience something similar.